Hi everyone, it is Mickey here from Pretty Talent, and I'm back with the next video. What is this now? It's video, I think, 3 in lesson 5. I stand to be corrected. I've kind of lost track of the numbers now. And I'm going to start with this page, start dealing with this page in this section of the video. And I was given as my surprise picture this one, which said, good friends get you out of mischief, best friends get you into it. It's not a sentiment I exactly agree with, but here's what I've decided to do. This little picture I've got from pages that were torn out of my book, and I'm going to use it because it has this image of a woman. I don't know whether she's teaching a child, scolding a child, giving him guidance. I'm not sure, but certainly there's that adult versus child sentiment in the picture. And that is a role which we are called upon to assume. Now, I don't have children of my own. I've never been married, never even properly been in love, which I think is kind of sad, but in any case. But I'm a teacher, and I'm an aunt, and children make up part of our lives. Now, my other picture here is, well, presumably exactly that. It's a classroom situation, it would seem. And again, we're told in this picture that as adults we have a responsibility towards children. Somehow, somewhere in our lives, we are going to have to accept that we have a responsibility towards raising children. What do they say? It takes a village. And I believe firmly that we do need to get involved with each other's lives. I'm looking for smaller scissors that I can use here. Well, there's a pair of scissors, because I've got a huge pair lying here. So I want to change the wording here. I want to get rid of that. And I want to cut this out. So that I retain the first sentence. There's a little heart here which I don't particularly want. Good friends get you out of mischief. And I'm going to glue that into my book here. But then I want to do this. I'll just cut this out properly. Oh, I can actually lose the friends. Well, maybe I'll keep friends. I want to take the word best, and I want to put that over good, but so that it's obvious that it's been changed. It's not covering good in a manner that you think it was intended to cover it. It's covered, well, it's not covered in a way that you think they just wanted to improve on the sentiment. It brings the point home that it's best friends who will not only get you out of mischief, but also keep you out of mischief. And then I want to without thinking too much about anything really, I want to journal some figures here. I like this. Okay, so what color are we going to use? Shall we go with something like that or just stick with the brown? Let's go with the red. I'm going to go with a buck red. It's this one that I'm using. Buck rose. Because where I'm at in my mind is that we have a role to play in each other's lives. Whether we realize it or not. And we have a responsibility towards each other, whether we realize it or not. And now I'm going to come in with this woman with the umbrella. And I'm going to allow her to provide some cover for her friend. But I think I need to do this with a different color. And maybe let's just go with grey. So this is the one I've got. Starry Grey is the ink I'm going to be using now. I so loved these stencils when I saw them. I'm really looking for an excuse to use them. But they work very nicely, I have to admit. And there are the two friends, one providing cover for the other. And spiritually, that cover would be prayer, covering your friends with prayer. Now, we haven't planned on anything here, and I wonder if we shouldn't change that. Let me think about this. I think I actually would like the idea of slipping a card or something in here. I actually like the idea as well of, where are these other ones? Are they too large? Yeah, this one will work. Here's another friendship, the friendship between a man and a woman. And the idea of journaling that appeals to me. So this one I will do in brown. So Rotting Wood O2 ink. It's going to be less obvious. Maybe I should have gone with a different brown. A starker, darker brown. Maybe I should, because it's not too late. Maybe I should go with this one, which is bronze brown. It's a different kind of ink. It is much darker. And it's just going to make it stand out better against the background, I think. So we'll do that. Yes, that's a little bit better, I think. Now, I still want something. Let me just clear out my space here a bit because I'm crowding myself a little bit. I still want something to to go into the pocket. And I'm going to give that some thought. So as I look for that, I'm also going to prepare for the next page, which we're going to be doing, which is this black one. So I'll gather the materials for this page and then also give some thought to what we can put in there. And then I'll be back with the second part of this video. But I need to prep a little bit before I can continue. So I'll see you just now. Okay, so I am back, and I had people over again, so it's a little bit later than I thought it would be. So here's what I've decided to do. I have decided that what we should do is include 2 letters. And I'm going to provide everyone in the course with some letter writing paper, note paper. And I want to write 2 letters. I'm going to sort of just cover these a little bit because they are personal, aren't they? I want you to write 2 letters. One to a friend that was worthy of your trust and friendship, and one to a friend that had betrayed your friendship. And be as open and honest in these letters so that you can come to terms with those friendships. And I want one to be absolutely positive and one to be, no, I want both to be positive in the end. But wording our feelings, coming to terms with the words of our feelings, is a rather important action. And then what I'm going to do is, because this is really for your eyes only, we're going to seal these letters. And what we're doing is going to put an old-fashioned type of seal on these letters, where we allow the wax to drip down. Come on. There we go. I don't want it to burn. Oops. Oh, let's do that one. Here's an old-fashioned wax seal. And when you lift it away, that one I'll be able to just lift. Because it is just wax. There's a couple of ways that you can do these wax seals. What's the bother? And once they're sealed, their contents is a little bit more private, a little bit more protected. And now honestly, if you don't have a seal, you just want to glue it closed or put some sticky tape over it or something, that's another option. But I thought it's a nice touch, putting a seal on it. And there are the 2 letters, and they can go stay in there. That can be their spot. I like the seals to show. And that kind of finishes those pages, doesn't it? Yeah, I think. Now there's loads more that one can do here. And part of me wants to come in and do some decorations and clutter it up. Another part of me, for this particular lesson, keeps wanting these clean lines, uncluttered art. Very unlike my normal self. Now, it is exam time, and I'm busy marking. And that's a whole different story, isn't it? And I think my life is a little bit full and focused on marking that kind of stuff at this stage. And maybe that's why I'm uncluttering my art, my craft. Maybe that's why I'm in this rather odd mood. Okay, now we need to do this page. And this is the one that says, John 13, verse 34. A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, even as I have loved you, that you also love one another. And this is the kind of love that serves the other person, that puts the other person first. And I'm not sure how one would go about journaling this. But I've got this picture, and I thought, why not just simply use that as a jumping off block. And I suppose it's not the simplest picture, but it's not overly complicated either. So we have this kind of thing going. Honestly, there's no reason why you have to stick to this. I'm just basically drawing those shapes that I'm seeing there. And you've got the man coming in here. He's got a rounded neck. Bit of a dropped shoulder, maybe not quite as dropped as that. He's coming in here somewhere. Her arm is going there. His hand is over here somewhere. Something like that. And don't overcomplicate this drawing. It's not meant to be overcomplicated. He doesn't have to wear these dungarees. But if we can, we might as well draw the dungarees. And then it would be rather preferential if they actually had faces. Now, the hats are a must-have. Kind of like the hats, so might as well put them in. And something to that effect is the people that we've got going here. Now, how you you develop this further is completely up to yourself, and I'm not entirely sure it's necessary to develop it further, but if you want to, you can. I'm sticking rather closely to the colors that are given, which is this is not entirely the same thing, but that's okay. It's kind of weird for me actually, because normally I'm more likely to do my own thing. But I'm not too keen on an overly fully developed drawing here either. Yeah, some shame, this poor bloke. He's kind of lost his neck here. And she lost her collar. And how about brown? A little bit of brown just to give the man some hair, and she gets to have some hair, and that's all I'm going to do. I don't think I want to do any more. Shall I do white stripes? I'm two minds here. I say, well, I'm already busy doing it. Anyways, that'll do for loving one another. And then I think this one will come here. But let's first fix this with a fixative. I like chalk pastels on black paper. It works marvelously. A little bit of glue at the back of this one, and now we're going to stick it down. And that'll do it for us. sure we incorporate the fold line there. And then all that's left to do here is to glue this into place. And so again, we will start on this end. Glue it into the journal. Glue on this side. I'll glue that into the journal. Okay. And that, oh dear, look at this. The way that I've glued this in, this is now upside down. And if I work really quickly, I can save it and turn it the right way up. I just need to glue it afresh. Oh my goodness. I wasn't thinking about that when I glued this. Oh well. This is the wonderful thing about wet glue, is that it gives you a little bit of time to play, time to move things around. Okay, there we go. No harm done. Now it faces the right way. Well, it's a lucky thing that I saw that. Okay, can you even see what I'm doing? Was I still working under the camera? My apologies if I wasn't. Good grief, I really hope I was. Okay, and that's that. And so our next page is going to come to this one. And I still wanted to come and slide this in here, but I'd forgotten. Oh, go on. If it doesn't want to go because the glue had kind of spread, I'll give you a tip. You don't want to loosen the whole thing. Just a little bit of the glue. And you can do that with a ruler. Let's do it on this side as well. Just create a little bit more space there. Now, there we go. Now it'll go in very nicely. And that's where our notes on perspective will live. And we have a pocket here as well. We don't have anything in particular that we want to put there. Why don't I do this? I like this. Now that I see this lying here, I like this picture. So I am simply going to cut it out. I'm just trying to decide how I want this to be. I'm going to ink the edges first. And then I'll tell you about that little wheel that I've got there. Give me one sec. This this is all happening rather impromptu. I'm going to glue this picture into position here. And then I will come in with my circle punch again. It's going to be tricky, but I think we'll manage it. Yep, that'll do it. It's not too shabby. Okay, so that opening has been put back. And I'm still working with this theme of friendship and being there for each other, and coming to terms with our relationships, the relationships in our lives. Now this is an emotional wheel. And did I tell you about this one? No, I haven't yet. I think I did it on the team hall. And this emotional wheel, I'm going to put right here. I'm trying to decide. I want the happy side to the top, the warmer colors to the top, and the cooler colors to the bottom. Okay, and the words here in the center are disgust, sad, happy, surprise, fear, and anger. And then each of these, like happy, has a couple of words attached to it that could better describe happiness. Optimistic, intimate, peaceful, powerful, accepted, proud, interested, joyful. And for each of these, there's another tier where you can rather try to explain it a little bit better. Optimistic could be inspired or open. Intimate could be playful or sensitive. Peaceful could be hopeful or loving. But these are all sort of expanding on your vocabulary. So instead of just saying, I'm happy, what is it that you feel? I'm feeling accepted. Why are you feeling accepted? Because I'm feeling respected. And so you are finding your words to be more accurate in your description of your emotions, your feeling words. And that's the idea behind that. And when we're in relationships with people, and this whole lesson is about relationships, then we are trying to come to terms. We are trying to find words because communication, proper communication, is extremely important for relationships to work. Instead of just saying, I'm angry. What are you angry about? I feel hurt. Why are you feeling hurt? Because I see the word violated there. My trust has been violated. And that starts a conversation that can lead to healing, provided both are interested in that outcome. Now, our next page is this one. And here we are going to write a poem. So, John 13 verse 37, Peter said to him, Lord, why can I not follow you now? I will lay down my life for your sake. And that is the verse that will inspire our poem. Now I will shut off the video and I will go write this poem, and then I'll come back and I'll talk you through the process. But if you are going to start your process, then this is what I'm going to advise you to do. That's your jumping off block. That's your inspiration. Why can I not follow you yet? I am willing to lay down my life for your sake. And thinking of that, I want you to make that your own conversation with God. Lord, I'm not yet ready to follow you. I'm not yet in a place where I feel that I'd be willing to lay down my life for you. And if that means that I'm not yet in a place where our relationship is strong, then that's something we can work on. Do you understand how this is going to start a conversation between yourself and God? Yourself and Jesus specifically, or the Father, whichever. And you are then going to take that topic, because you can't write about a topic if you don't have a topic. You can't write about anything if you don't know what you want to write about. And then you're going to start, if you want your poem to rhyme, you're going to start looking for rhyme words. Life, knife, wife, strife, and so on. And you're going to take another word, follow, hollow, hallow, shallow, and so on and so forth. And you're going to just look for rhyme words that you could use to start building a poem. Now, here's the thing. Once you have a topic, the rhyme words that you can come up with, they probably will relate to that topic, because your mind will be busy with that topic. And then you're going to go and you're going to take those words and you're going to start stringing them together. You're going to decide that you want, let's go with something really simple. Most poems will have 4 lines in a verse. And then you're going to decide how are they going to rhyme. Again, if you want it to rhyme. So A, B, B, or A, B, or A, B, B, A. I don't know how you want to sort of do your rhyme at the end, but you're going to decide upon something like that. Honestly speaking, this probably will sort itself out here at the end once you just start writing. But I hope I've given you something to start this with. I'll go write my poem off aside from the video, and I'll come back to you with it, and then we'll finish this lesson, because we are pretty much finished with this lesson already. We might want to do something here, I don't know, but we're pretty finished with this. But let's write the poem and come back and just put the finishing touches on this. Okay, so till just now. See you again. Cheers, guys. Okay, so I am back, and I have written a poem, and let me just show you. I don't start on that page. I do a rough draft first. And here's more or less what I came up with. Just a reminder, the verse is John 13, verse 37. Peter said to him, Lord, why can I not follow you now? I will lay down my life for your sake. I titled my poem, Who Comes First? And it took the form of a conversation. Lord, I replied, you are welcome to my life. To tell you the truth, I am done with the strife. The fights, the contention, it seems all in vain, but I can't give it up. I seem shackled with chain. Might it be, asked the Lord, that you're holding your ground? That winning in reason beats winning in love? Is trampling them down what you learned from above? Or could you perhaps let it go to stay another round? Well, Lord, I replied, if you put it that way, I'll quiet myself about what I wanted to say. I'll use fewer words and listen way more, and perchance I will find life has more in store. Aha, said the Lord, there is hope for you yet. Start with your thoughts, for the words will then suit. Your actions will trail this new path that is good, and soon you'll discover your old self is dead. I followed the good Lord's advice from that day and found to be right of less benefit than to obey. Let me just fix this. And let me just read that. I followed the good Lord's advice from that day and found to be right of less benefit than to obey. Okay, so what I have done here is to differentiate between the two speakers. I've also swapped my rhyming pattern around. So when I'm speaking, it is A, A, B, B. When the Lord is speaking, it is C, D, D, C. And the final rhyme, the conclusion rhyme, the two-liner is just E, E. And I don't consider this an extremely good poem or anything like that. It's one that's written in rather a bit of haste. And it needs some fine-tuning, but that's okay. It's okay for this purpose. So I'm going to put this in here now. And we're just going to glue it in. Let me just get it in place. Okay, so we glue just the one half first. Oops. And once we have that side in place, we glue the other side of the page. And we allow our poem to settle in our journal, because this whole journaling lesson was about finding words, finding your words, finding our words. Right, now this last page is probably going to be part of the next lesson rather than this one, but I did have this picture, and my things for no reason, just by accident, seemed to turn into greens with a green theme. And so I decided that since we've turned this into a pocket, we might as well go all the way. And I fussy cut this little picture that I've used as a reference for my last pastel painting drawing. And I'm going to stick it in here. And I might come back later at another date and add things to this. But not in the mood that I'm in this week. This week, I want to unclutter everything. And so just putting it smack in the middle of the page there is sufficient for me this week. Now here I said glue hidden pocket. We might as well do that now. So when we glue a hidden pocket, we start with a half a circle. Well, that one's at the top, so this one will be at the top. And then we will glue these two pages together. We will glue these two pages together. I'm missing the page altogether. I'm just gluing all my pages together here on the side. And then we are going to glue the bottom and the side. And that will be our hidden pocket on the side. And that's all we're going to do for this lesson. It's a bit of a laid-back lesson, I think. But we've been working hard, and maybe we deserve a bit of a laid-back lesson. Maybe that's exactly what we need at this point. Okay, so what does lesson 5 look like? It looks like this. I've added the tab somewhere when the video was switched off and I forgot to tell you about it. We have this on John 15 verse 3. We have this on Acts 4 verse 12. We had this on John 14 verse 6. We had this on John 14 verse 12. And we had this on John 14 verses 13 to 15. And that last one remains my favorite. I don't know. Somehow that just appeals to me. So we've had that. Then we turned the page and we had this. We turned the page yet again and we had this with our 2 letters. Turned the page and we had this. Turned the page, we have our perspective notes and our emotional wheel. And we have a pocket here that has nothing inside of it. And I thought about that and I thought perhaps we have more people that we need to write letters to. And I'm not going to plan anything for those pockets or for that pocket, because here's your emotional wheel. And I'm simply going to invite you to write a few more letters and slide them in there. And come to terms with relationships, especially relationships that have run their course. But all the while, remind yourself about this word, perspective. Your perspective of events might be completely different from the other person's perspective. And if it is at all possible, put yourself in their shoes and look at the situation from their point of view. Maybe there's some closure to be found in that action. Not necessarily, but maybe. Right. Then we had our poem. Oh, look how ugly this is now, getting glued in here. Oops. Get my glue seeping out. And then we have 2 more pockets, and we haven't got anything in these pockets, and we don't have to have anything in these pockets. They might very well be pockets that go along with the next lesson. We'll see where we want to use them. But certainly, if you have more letters that you need to slide in here, there is space. It is your journal. Maybe you want to continue writing poetry. You want to slide those poems in there. Then do that. Remember, this is your journal. I give you an idea of where to start, but you essentially do what's important for you to do in this journal. That concludes lesson 5. I hate ending on nothing. Let's end here. I like this little quick sketch. And I'm going to say, I actually want to end this lesson with a prayer, and why don't we? Just pray with me. Father God and Lord Jesus Christ, I come to you, we come to you, and we just lay all of our relationships before your feet, and we say, don't you want to help us, teach us how to tend these relationships? Teach us from your example. Teach us to serve. Teach us to have the heart of a servant. And bless our relationships. And that is our prayer in the name of the precious Lord Jesus. Amen. So go well, guys. Till the next video. Cheers for now.